Welcome to part 2 of our series on talking to your kids about a major event like a pandemic. Hello everyone, my name is Ken Hubley, host of A Parent Chats on NSLive.tv. I'm the author of 2 children's books, Lenny Superbook and Autograph of Heroes. In part 1, we focused on self-care for yourself, looking for signs from your child, and setting the table for the discussion. We talked about how major events affect us as parents as well as kids. We need to look after ourselves in order to help others. We also reviewed physical signs of behavior changes your child may display if upset. Finally, we talked about setting the table for the conversation for success. For today's discussion, let's go deeper into the chat. Open-ended questions are the key to starting a great chat. Each story in my book has its own Lenny's Question Corner to help us start chats. The Question Corner has several open-ended questions about the story's message. You may want to use these questions or substitute with your own questions. But open-ended questions allow your child to express themselves and how they're feeling. The next step is listening carefully to your child. And it's okay to think before you respond. Listen and understand what your child is saying, and then think of an appropriate response. It is useful to ask helpful questions as secondary questions, like what's bothering you about this? How did you feel when they said that? Using questions is a good way to find a positive solution. For example, you could say, did you misunderstand what they meant? Is there a chance that they meant it this way? Giving people the benefit of the doubt can be helpful, especially at such a young age. Next, it's important to remain calm, patient, and smile when you're talking to your child. Kids can feed off your energy, so if we show that we are upset or angry, they will see this and may copy this energy. By having a calm, pleasant demeanor and offering questions about more positive options, this will really help your child. You will notice this with toddlers who may look around when they fall down. What do? They look around to see the parent's reaction. If the parent is upset, the child starts to cry and gets upset. A lot of times if the parent laughs or says, that's silly, then the child just laughs, giggles, and moves on and runs again. Some great questions about the pandemic are, what bothers them? Is it getting sick? Or the restrictions? Or even the vaccines? There is so much misinformation that you need to ask them where they heard the information they received. This way you can have a more fuller conversation with them. Usually small children have smaller problems, but they can seem big to them. This is important. As parents, we want our kids to be happy and to feel safe, so we feel we have to fix the problems for them. We don't. We need to guide them, teach them, and love them. If we do not allow our kids to feel disappointment or frustration when they are young, it's harder for them to deal with it when they are older. This is another reason that questions are a great tool to help your child find ways to process what happened and find possible solutions. Help them find solutions for themselves by asking good questions. If they are missing talking to their friends, ask them if they want to try an outdoor event if allowed in your area, or face-to-face apps, etc. There's different ways that we can adjust to difficult situations. This technique is a huge investment in their future. After you ask plenty of questions to understand the problem, help them process and find solutions. The next step is reassuring them. This is a great time to talk about things they could do to stay safe and reassure them that things will be okay. Helping them to feel more confident and good about themselves and the situation is huge. Encouraging them to talk to you again anytime they need to talk is also important, and of course having regular chats are keys. If you teach them about Kids Help Phone, that's another source, or the guidance counselors at school of people that they can talk to. Today we talked about the value of questions and many ways that we can help our children to process and find solutions and comfort. We talked about the importance of guidance, but not overly protecting them. We talked about reassuring your child at the end of the chat. The final part of the series will give you some useful tips on properly following up on the chat. I hope that you enjoyed these tips on going deeper in the chat with your child. I enjoyed sharing my thoughts with you. This has been Ken Hubley on A Parent Chats on Nova Scotia Live TV.